about professionalism and leadership. Okay. Randy right now is currently serving as the Vice President and Senior Principal of AMAC, Environmental and Infrastructure Inc. He has now been with the AMAC for 40 years, following 4 years with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Randy has earned his bachelor's degree in civil engineering from Georgia Tech and his master's in civil engineering from Mississippi State University, and is a registered professional engineer in several states. He has received several professional local and national awards, including Young Engineer of the Year for Northeast Florida in 1978, Engineer of the Year for the Metro Atlanta area in 2000, and several awards for projects he has managed and provided technical leadership. Besides North America, Randy has worked in many regions around the country, including Europe, Africa, the Middle East, China, and Central and South America. Now please join me to welcome Randy.
Ni hao. Glad to be here. I've known about the ACP for quite a while. Matter of fact, I know personally and are good friends of mine two of the people who helped found the organization back in 1992-93, Jack Shi and Chi Wu. Some of you may know them. They moved here to Atlanta and saw a need to get together the Chinese professionals that helped found the organization. And they now live in California. Chi is retired. Jack is still working and doing some things in China. So I keep up with them. Just talked to them this month by phone, and I see them from time to time over the years. Let's see. Anyway, this is Year of the Horse. What does the horse mean in Chinese mythology? It's an aggressive situation. Aggressive. The horse means that you want to get something done quickly. Get going. Get going. You may do it good, may do it bad, but move on with the horse. The horse is an activity. Something's going to happen. So if you're born in the year of the horse, you're supposed to be a pretty aggressive person. Okay. What I want to talk about today is, I got a lot of material, and it's just observations I have, comments on professionalism and leadership that I've observed through my career all over the world, and particularly in my engineering profession. So we want to talk about professionalism there and professional leaders and leadership, and I'm going to provide some observations on that, and then I want to challenge you to improve your professionalism and improve your leadership. Everybody can be a leader. You're not born a leader. There are traits of leadership that you can earn and be educated on. Some people have characteristics that help them to be a better leader. But leadership is something that you can, it's an attitude in yourself. So then I'll challenge you to try to improve yourself here. Anyway, Georgia Tech, rah-rah, you've heard all that, but mainly I focus in the infrastructure, environmental, and business planning, and project and program management. Next slide. AMAC, a little bit about AMAC. I got a couple of slides here. We're owned by a public company in London, England. We're about $6.2 billion US dollars a year, about 27,000 people. This is the London Stock Exchange, 430 offices in 40 countries. So we're a big outfit, big company. Number 6 in design and firms, engineering firms. We focus in oil and gas, mining, clean energy, power and process, environmental and infrastructure. Consultants, engineers, and scientists all over the world. Next slide. We're mostly in North America, as you can see there, and Europe. And we're everywhere else. We have quite a group in China. We have over 450 people in China, mainly focused on the design and construction of power and process and oil and gas and chemicals. Sinotech is one of our big customers over there. We do mining in Mongolia, so there's a lot of things that we do in China to help and improve the infrastructure there. Next slide. talk about a professional. That's just somebody that's got some special education, training, experience, or skill. You can be a professional in anything. The person that cleans this building could be a professional. Of course, you could be a doctor, professional. Here we included several people: firefighter, police officer, doctor, lawyer, engineer, administrative assistant, technician, delivery person. UPS, their delivery people are professionals. Okay, that's because they have special education and training. Now, professionalism. You may be a professional, but you may not show professionalism. That's one who conforms to specific technical and ethical standards. Okay, you act a certain way. You're very businesslike. Okay, you can be a professional, but you may not exhibit professionalism. Now, the goal here is for us to become better professionals of exhibiting professionalism. Next slide. Characteristics, traits. There are a lot of these. There are many. There's probably hundreds of different types of professional traits and everything. I just listed a few here. Your appearance. Ethical. You do the right thing at the right time. You're organized. You're a leader. Self-discipline. Professional. You look professional. You act professional. Okay, this is very important. You're polite. You're kind. You're compassionate. You're reliable. People trust you. Okay? You're competent. You know what you're doing. You're experienced. And also, when the times get tough, you're calm. Okay? You're secure. You're humble. Very humble. Most professionals are humble, and the leaders. We'll see many of these things, traits, come out in leadership, and we talk about that this afternoon. So you're doing the right thing, being ethical. One of the most important things about being professional is your verbal and written communications are very polite and nice. It has a certain etiquette to it. You don't want to send a bad email out. You know, somebody makes you mad, you say, oh, I got to send the email back. Retaliate. No, calm down, think about it, and send, maybe not send that email, send it later. So you want to be professional about the way you talk and even do your emails in writing. So, and you're accountable to folks, you know. But a professional can make mistakes. A leader can make mistakes. And from those mistakes, you learn things. And you're a visionary. You're thinking about things in the future, things and goals. You're a learner. You're always learning. A professional never quits learning. Never. You may learn about things outside your profession, but you're always trying to educate yourself. I like reading books. I read books all the time. I have all kinds of books. And then just talking about professional leadership, and later I'll show you some authors who, and we'll see some books here on leadership and professionalism. And I like reading those kind of books as well. One of the important things here is self-discipline. You're a self-starter. You're very disciplined. Happy, enthusiastic. You're looking at optimistic person. Next slide. Leader. Remember Kublai Khan? You know your Chinese history? What did Kublai Khan do? He had China so large, he invaded Vietnam, Burma, Japanese twice. Didn't make it, but he had the whole entire Korean peninsula was part of China. All of Manchuria, all of Mongolia, all the way down to the Yunnan province. Now he was the grandson of Genghis Khan. Do you know that? But one of the most important things he did as a leader in China was he united China with Europe. Marco Polo came to visit him. He was so impressed, he sent an envoy back to Italy, and they communicated from then on. And he was pretty good with his people in China. Kublai Khan. He's a leader. Somebody who will follow, guide, directs, charge of others. A general in the army, same thing. Leadership. Now what's the difference? Leader and leadership. Somebody who can influence and enlist aid and support of others to accomplish a task or a goal. Here's Joan of Arc, leader of the French Revolution. George Washington. A lot of people have shown great leadership because people followed them. Why did they follow? We'll get to that. Next slide. Leadership virtues, a lot of things here similar to professionalism. A lot of characteristics here. And good character, a good communicator. Somebody's focused, they listen. They're passionate, they can think about people's feelings, they're compassionate. They build relationships, strong relationships, very important. They have a servant attitude. In other words, a leader is willing to what it takes to help somebody else, that even in his group that he's leading, servant. And of course, a visionary. Now, what I've referenced down here is 21, it's a book, 21 Indispensable Qualities of a Leader. Very nice book. This is only 8 of those. Others is commitment, problem solving. You have a positive attitude. Self-discipline, we heard that before. Teachable, you want to learn things. You're generous. You can discern right from wrong, you know which way to go. One of the most important things about a leader, and we'll see more of that later, is you're courageous. What does that mean? You're willing to take risks. You can make a mistake, but you take the risk. Take that risk. Abraham Lincoln, you know your American history, he had to lead this country in a very difficult time. George Patton, you may not know him, American general during World War II. He was so respected by the Germans as an American general leader that the entire invasion of Europe on D-Day, he was held back, and the Germans thought he was going to lead it in a different part of France to come over. And D-Day was a complete surprise to the Germans in Normandy beaches and Omaha beaches, because they had Patton in another place, and the Germans thought he was coming from that place. And then he went through Europe himself, leading the U.S. Army, pushing the Germans out. Very outstanding leader. He had all these traits. Next slide. Process of leadership. This is important. Book down here, I want you to pay attention to reference Leading Change. This guy here, John Carter, published this book back in 2012, relatively new. It talks about qualities and the process of leadership. You know these people, South Africa, India, the United States. What did they have? Established a sense of urgency. You're going to lead somebody to do something, lead a group to do something, there's something that you got to do. There's something urgent about what's got to happen. Then you create a coalition. You create your team, your group that's going to go with you. And of course, you have to have a vision, that goal. Where do you want to go with it? And a strategy, how to get there. These people had a goal, had a vision, they had an urgency of what they needed to do, and they had a way to get there. All these people completely changed the governments in their country, the attitudes of people, by peaceful means, no war. Changed South Africa forever, changed India forever, and changed the United States forever. Just by the way, they communicated their vision to their coalition, to their team. They made the team go into action. Your people following you as a leader, you empower those people to get into action. Then what's important is you have intermediate goals so that you have some little wins along the way to give encouragement to your team. So then you consolidate your gains. You see what's going on. The whole thing moves into change. You'll encounter resistance as a leader. And so this is all important that your team there. And then when you get to where you're going, you got to your goal, your vision, you anchor in your new change. The change is either it's in your company, it's in your family, it's in yourself, it's in your country, whatever, in politics, whatever. There's a change and you anchor it down. Next slide. Now teamwork. The leader has to go with the team. Of course, right now we got a bunch of teams playing in the World Cup. Every individual on each of those teams is important, but it's a team. Just like American baseball, American football, basketball, teamwork. You got 9 people here, you got 11 people here, you got 5 people here. Just like in a soccer team. Teamwork, teamwork at work, leader, team. What is it? You have to have your goals. That's very important. You start out with a number of people. You got to have a group. Then, each person on the team has their niche. Everybody's important. Each member of the baseball team, different position, football, soccer. They have their team member, what they're doing is a niche. You're going to be climbing the mountain, like Mount Everest. All your team and your leadership, there's a process going on here as you go up the mountain to do what you want to do. But remember, your team is only as strong as its weakest link. Some member can have a problem, and then it could affect the whole team. Just like anything you're trying to lead with a team. A catalyst, you need a catalyst, you need the things that the team members are going to be doing, starting, stopping different things, beginning, ending, moving along. Then you just need this compass direction. You need the direction you're going. You got a goal, a vision, and a direction you want. Also remember that a team together, remember if you have a rotten apple and you put it in a bowl with the other apples, what happens to the other apples? They get rotten too. Same with a team member. You could have a bad team member, could affect the attitudes and the way the other teams are working. So you have to be careful about the bad apples. And then everybody has to lean on each other. No one of these athletic teams, even like the World Cup going on in soccer playing as we speak, can win a person by himself. They have to have the whole team working together. So everybody has to work together in your teamwork and leadership. There's a price to be paid as you sacrifice and invest moving forward. You got to, and then in your team as they go toward the goal. You got to keep score. Remember things about work. They don't measure it, you can't change it, things stay the same. So you need to be able to measure things, have intermediate milestones, and be able to keep score. You need to have some depth. What's behind these 9 guys on the field, these 11 guys on the field, and those 5 guys? They got a bench. The bench has more people, more team members to come in to help out. So you need a good team and the leader. Leader is progressing all of this, forming all of this. You need to have values, identified values, shared values among the team members. Everybody's working together to make things happen. Communication is important. Interaction. There's 17 of these laws, what they call the laws of teamwork and leadership here in this book here. I recommend this book. It's very good about this. And I've only put 5 up here on the wall. But these are important: goal, direction, price, communication. And then, of course, keep the morale up, keep winning. That's what those intermediate goals are for, those milestones. And then you'll be rewarded toward the end as you get to the goal. Next slide, please. Now, this leadership is a journey we talked about. You got your present condition, you got your future goal, okay? In between is this gap. You got to get from here over to there. It's a journey. Now, along the journey, there's all kind of things that come up. Oh, I don't have no money. Oh, it's the wrong time. Oh, it's the wrong place. It's uncertain out there. It's risky. What am I going to do? I can't be done. Somebody says, I can't be done. Somebody says, not now. You know, you get anxious about it, nervous. These are all the bad turns on the leadership road to get to where you want to go with your goal. And so what happens along that goal? You got to stay focused here, okay? You got to have courage. If you don't have courage, ability to take the risk, you go off one of these other forks in the road, and it'll be, oh, not now. You give up. What do? Do nothing. But continue down the road. What is this? Grit. American English, what does grit mean? There's a movie called True Grit. Grit means tough, persistent. You got to stay at it. Stay at it. People will be knocking you down. People saying you can't do it. But stay on your road. And then, above all things, have faith in it. Believe what you can do. Believe you can go from here to there, to your future goal. So you got to have this focus on it. You got to have your grit, tough, be with it, be courageous. Don't go off one of these forks in the road in the wrong place, and then believe that you can do it. Have faith, and you achieve your goal in what you're doing. Next slide, please. What I want to say here too, leadership is more than a lot of these things we've been talking about. There's a lot of talk in the business community today and everywhere all over the world about ethical leadership. And what is ethical leadership? We talked about leadership, what some of the qualities and virtues of leadership are. But this is about ethical leadership. That means doing the right thing at the right time. Okay? Was Hitler a leader? Yep. Was he an ethical leader? No. You know? So, ethical leadership. You have to set priorities. John Kennedy, you know him? I thought he was a very ethical leader. We've had several. Ronald Reagan. Not all our presidents have been ethical, but some of them have. You need to have a whole life symmetry. What does that mean in your ethical leadership? That means you're both balanced in your life, physically, mentally, spiritually. Being a great leader has a lot to do with the spiritual world, because you have to have peace with yourself and with your fellow mankind to be a really great leader, good leader. And relationships and always speaking the truth. Reference here to just read High Performance Ethics by Wes Carroll and James Lucas, published in 2007. There's actually others here. One of some of the things, you have to limit your desires. As a leader, going down the road of leadership from where you are now to your goal, you need to limit. Don't go off one of those forks to some other thing, a distraction. Part of it is making sure you have your priorities in line and your distractions are thrown away. Keep the distractions out of the way. You have to be aligned with reality, what's going on. You have to, part of leadership, good leader, what does he do when he needs to make a decision? He has a hard time making a decision by himself. He brings in a council of wisdom. Other people who can share their wisdom with him so he can make the right decision. So you respect the wise. You protect others. Your team, other people around you that you're leading, you protect them. Just like a mother-father relationship with your children. You spread the wealth. As you're accumulating, you're winning goals, you're doing things, you spread that happiness to the other people. Next slide here. Now, some observations on professionalism. This is sort of my own little list here of things after we've seen things from books in here about what people talk about. But as perceived by others, your professionalism, your being a professional, is what other people see you as in the culture you're in. And it may change a little bit from one culture to another. But generally, appearance, your clean look, way you look, is whether you're a professional or not. That counts a lot, whether you like it or not, what people perceive you to be. Your actions, your speaking, your listening, the way you act, your demeanor and attitude, your manners, your etiquette, how you behave. It's very important at what people think you are as a professional. You're trustworthy, helpful, friendly, courteous. Sounds like we're joining the Boy Scouts here. Courteous, kind, cheerful, reverent, respectful of other people, their religions, and their beliefs, and everything like that. If we had more of that in the world, we wouldn't have all these crazy wars in the Middle East and going on over there now in Iraq. You're courageous, and this is very important. You're willing to take those risks. And you're engaged with your professional organization. This is a professional organization. People are engaged. But what is the profession that you do at work? Whether you're an administrative assistant, or a leader in your company, or an accountant, or an engineer, or a scientist, what is it that you're engaged in? Are you engaged in that organization to help build your profession? Who is this guy? You guys know this guy? I would like to have talked to this guy and really got his feelings about things. He was a visionary guy. This guy, he wrote the book on warfare 2,500 years ago. The things in his book. You ever read his book? Who's read this book? Okay.
Really?
What's amazing is, this book is almost like the Bible. This book is used today at the U.S. Military Academy in West Point. It's used at every military academy in the world. Also, this book, because of the strategies that he wrote about, is used by corporations all over the world to develop their strategy, their mission, and goals within their company. Amazing philosophy, this guy. I would have liked to have been able to talk to this guy just to see how he was. But he was an author, military in general, of course. All right, next slide. Observations on leadership. You know these two guys, Jimmy Carter here from Georgia. To me, he has been one of the best leaders after being president. Okay, and what he's done throughout the world. George Washington, of course, you know him and what he had to pull together back then. But all leaders, I've experienced this everywhere in the world, the really leaders that go to the top can speak clearly and very eloquently and with confidence and humility. I can't speak that well. I got this deep Southern accent that some people don't like. You know, you may have a Chinese accent, but you can change that. You can train yourself to do this so that you speak. I see people rise in our company, and I say, God, how did they get to that position? And it wasn't because of what they knew technically or anything else. Yeah, I got to get on through here. Pushed on time. What they knew about anything else, it was the way they talked and behaved in front of other people that somebody thought, well, they know what they're doing. But really they didn't, but they could talk it. Listening, organized, and I add spiritually there too. You need to be organized in your spirit and your mind. Know where you're going. That road we talked about. Always learning. Known in your profession. Engage with your organization, speaking, publishing, whatever, helping out. Volunteering. Others, whether you want to or not, they will want to follow you. Okay? Follow you. Next slide. Okay, here we go. Y'all know the story of Alice in Wonderland. She was down there in the rabbit hole, couldn't find her way around, up, down the highway. Finally went down the road, got to the cat. Move back up. Got to this. It's very important. Very important about what happened to Alice here. Got to the cat. Cat said, Alice said, "God, the fork in the road. Which way should I go?" The cat said, "Where do you want to go?" And she said, "I don't know." And he said, "Well, then it don't matter." So you get to the fork in the road at work, at home, at life, whatever you're doing, and you don't know which way to go, then it don't matter which fork you take. One of our famous baseball players, Yogi Berra, said, "Get to the fork in the road, take it." So, know where you're going. Next slide. Planning where you're going. Clear vision. What's missing. Another book here I want you to pay attention to. What is possible? What are you willing to take on? Create goals, intention. This guy I wanted to meet. Very important guy. This guy is the guy who was emperor, first one, and it was in the Ming Dynasty. But anyway, this was back, I believe, he created a navy of 600 ships that I believe went completely around the world. And if you don't believe me, read the book, 1421. Then he took that same fleet and he went to Europe, to Italy with it. And if you don't believe that, read the book, 1423. And he was an amazing guy. If he hadn't have died, and he could have continued in office, I am convinced that all of Central and South America would be speaking Chinese now instead of Spanish. Amazing guy. I'd like to talk to him. All right, next slide. This is your challenge. Where are we at? Improve yourself. Continue to find ways to keep improving and learning. Skills, art, strategy. You have to learn this. It doesn't come by itself. Power of compromise, folks. That ability. Recognize and develop the advantage. So, train yourself, improve yourself in the characteristics, virtues, and qualities of leadership. And I'm done. Next slide. Where's the next one? Not there. Okay. This is my lovely assistant, Xiao Yang. She will answer all the questions.
Thank you, man. Randy is an ACP delegation member to China Social, and then we went together for the environmental protection symposium. So he went to Social as expert on environmental protection twice as ACP delegation member. Thank you. Okay.
Gigi.
It's a great honor. We're very happy to have PJ Park, and he's actually one of the state representatives from District 108. Thank you very much, PJ. And PJ was born in Seoul, Korea,